let's talk about why we're all here with a few pictures and words. This is very little you. So this is in the birthing process, potentially even in utero up until the age of 3. And an incident happens. Let's call it a shame incident. This is relational trauma that happens. What does that mean? That means that you have a little body with an overwhelmed nervous system. And in that moment of needing a caregiver to attune to a nervous system that's in overwhelm and its natural reactions and responses to being in overwhelm, that need for attunement isn't met. So that can be a distant caregiver, can be emotionally distant or just not in the moment with you. It can be a parent that's in their own stresses. It can be somebody that says, don't cry, don't be upset. It can be a baby that's alone in a nursery. There's like physically no one there to attune to. It can be being yelled at or even more overtly shamed for having an experience of overwhelm. It can be an uncaring or unwanted touch or an uncaring tone. And there's a whole list, and you already know this, what triggers this response in you. So in that moment of misattunement, and there's always moments of misattunement, it's when the repair doesn't happen afterward to complete the cycle of that response in the nervous system. So what that happens, let's talk about the nervous system response. So we are talking about a protective survival response. We are talking about trauma responses. That's why we're calling this relational trauma. The body has determined there's a life or death scenario, and it was never resolved. So we're going into, so it's decided by the body, we're going into freeze and we're going into fawning, and it's on top of an activation that's already happened. And so basically we have learned to abandon ourselves for the sake of a kind of. So this is like, there's just such a drive in us for life that our systems will seek out any way it can to get an unmet need met. And so we get these approximations of almost kind of sort of meeting our needs. It's in a kind of acceptance, it's a kind of connection, it's a kind of approval, it's a kind of belonging, it's a kind of feeling that they like me or love me. And that's the best that we can do within the resources that we have in the scenario of what we've learned a caregiver will connect with or not connect with. Like, this is just the life force in us that wants us to be alive and well. This is the best it can do with that level. But all this to say is that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. What has happened your whole life, even in terms of these approximate levels of safety and connection, it's 100% beautiful and amazing and wonderful that your body and your system, like the whole, all of it, the psyche, the emotions, all of it figured that out. And now we have an opportunity to tend to the pain that's still alive in us for the need that was never met. We have an opportunity to be with this really young version of ourselves without shaming them, but instead holding them and meeting that need. So all of this to say, this incident, if it was never resolved, is still running all of this. But if it's still alive in you now, it can be resolved now. It can be met now. We can go back in with attunement now and start to rewire all of this. So our bodies are designed to go into these trauma responses to promote life and living, and our bodies are also designed once there's access to safety and resource, to resolve these trauma responses. So whether you think of it in terms of the biology and physiology of a trauma response, or if you can relate to it better, thinking of it in terms of the parts of you that are really young that just need to be held, doesn't matter. We can approach it from all of these angles. The answer is there's healing. And this is the work that I do. It starts with safety. And so if you haven't yet, I invite you to watch the masterclass that I recently did and book a call with me. Let's talk about how you and I can work together to foster the safety in your system so that all of this can be healed.